Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Schifrin, and I'm calling the meeting to order of Monday, October 2nd, 2023 of the Planning Board at 6:38 p.m. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Andrew Shepard, aye.
Robert Therian here.
Tony.
Say aye.
Present.
Yes.
Aye, Tony Lopez, present.
And Laura Schifrin present. We are expecting Carol Hofstas to join us. 1.2 Pledge of Allegiance. For those of you that are able, please stand and salute the flag with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank all of our veterans and also all those that are serving us currently and our first responders. 1.3 Chairman's additions or deletions. I have none unless I forgot something. Beth? Okay. The 1.4 approval of minutes of August 28th, 2023, which was in our portal of information. I'll entertain a motion, please.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes prepared as unaltered.
Seconded?
Okay. Anything, Tony?
Volunteer. Nope, they look good. Thank
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Take a roll call vote, please.
Robert Therian.
Yes.
Aye.
Andrew Shepard, aye.
Tony Lopez, aye.
Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you. 2.1, Jonathan Voss from MRPC is here. Jonathan, would you like to give your report, please?
Certainly. Thank you guys for having me tonight. So we are several months into the MBTA compliance project, and we've made a lot of progress. We originally started with a number of districts closer to the Pepperell town line, and that grew since then until we had a number of districts, 10 potential ones that we were examining. And then after several sessions with working group, town staff, members of the planning board, we brought that back down to three potential districts that we want to present to the public in a public information session in the weeks to come. And those are the districts on Fitchburg Road, Old City Road, and then the third district on Fitchburg Road. And if I can briefly, oh, it's already there. And these three districts were selected after re-examining practical concerns with water supply, possible septic, the possibility of being able to connect them to Lunenburg sewer, which is about 2 miles or so south of these districts. But they addressed all the concerns with topography and soil, and they also didn't have as large of size concerns as was previously or was repeatedly brought up with several of the larger parcels. So these are much more compact districts that still address all of the needs of the community and meet the requirements for the final unit capacity, the density. It addresses concerns about the practicality of actually seeing these districts eventually actually being built. And these are the ones that we feel should be presented to the public for public input at the town meeting, which I believe will have a date selected, I was told, this week. So we are looking forward to that.
Any questions from the board?
I just want a clarification.
Mhm.
If I'm understanding this properly, we've eliminated all the other study districts and now focusing on these three, is that correct?
There were repeated concerns with the feasibility for primarily for water and soil with the other districts, and also their locations on water protection overlay districts. And we wanted to eliminate any potential conflicts that could arise between having conflicting overlay districts. So ultimately, we decided to pivot over from the Pepperell line towards this section.
And how many acres are available in each of those districts?
The district's number, so District 1 is approximately 25 acres. District 2 is the smallest, it's 12. And then District 3 is the largest of them, and it's just shy of 40 acres.
40?
Yep, just shy of 40.
Okay.
Robert, just so you know, I did attend the last meeting of all the department heads and staff and the water department, Board of Health input, and it was primarily because of the aquifers and the water protection in town, and that these locations made sense, especially if we were going to have any tie-ins with Lunenburg, which is a possibility, probably a better possibility for both towns versus the Pepperell side. But it should make some good conversation, I think, at a public hearing, and probably will have the least negative impact, I should say, on the town.
Yeah, and if I may just add, Chair Schifrin, the
Yes.
fall town meeting was the date for a public information session. And we had talked about presenters being Jonathan, one of them from MRPC, and potentially having a presenter from the state, from either CHAPA or the state housing office. And I always forget the acronym, sorry. So that-
DOHLC.
Thank you. And there would be a public information session as part of fall town meeting where we'd introduce this, plus Jonathan has already started the draft bylaw. I can put that on the screen too, if you want to take a quick look.
So when is the town meeting?
Fall town meeting, I don't know yet. I asked Sabrina and I thought they were gonna determine this week. And I'm not sure. Sorry about that.
Beth, did you make a reference to October 12th?
I don't know. I just saw Sabrina walk in, so I'm gonna ask her, because I have no idea, honestly. I'm not gonna say anything and, have it recorded and steer everyone wrong. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I think my only comments is, from the last meeting I was at when we talked about this. I understand, I probably should have made an effort, Lori, to join you at that meeting to understand the water concerns more in a detailed fashion. But I'm a little disappointed given our situation, what we talked about, the state's rigidity in the, 15, whatever the requirements for acreage is.
Yeah.
In the sense that I would think if we could go lower than that, I think the benefit of focusing them in the already more developed areas around Hannaford, around the center of town, around where there's already existing sidewalks, I think there's a lot of benefit there. And I think it's kind of a shame that the state requirements kind of limit, it doesn't count if you do it in smaller capacity. So at some level of effort, I would like to try to push back or at least make a position known that, we'd be willing to do. I don't know what level of flexibility the water department or the Board of Health has in terms of protections for the aquifer and density, but I think it would make sense just overall to have, make a serious effort to have more units focused in the more developed areas.
I agree with Andrew, completely. And that was our original concept when we began, reviewing these sites. So the situation here is that there should be some flexibility in the MBTA district to allow us to use existing sections of town that are equally qualified to provide this kind of housing without necessarily capturing virgin land and developing it exclusively for that purpose. And when you do that, I have concerns that you're just going to have much more higher concentration in one specific spot of town when I think the density can be absorbed better in different sections of the town. And those sections, I understand that this process is coming up with the most idyllic remedy in terms of meeting most of all the criteria. But I agree with Andrew that the other areas that we studied previously, it hasn't been disclosed that it's prohibited from doing that, or it just says that it impacts the aquifer area, but it doesn't say negatively or to what degree or what percentage of units here. So I feel that I think we should have some resource to be able to approach the MBTA district to consider a less rigid approach on what they're proposing right now. Is that what you're expecting?
More or less, less rigidity
Right,
to allow some counting. So
right,
if you have a less concentration in more of the aquifer protected areas,
right.
they're more likely to have an acceptable.
So one of the thoughts
Mhm.
on this regard is that some of these other areas of town that are under review already have commercial areas there, which could be an asset to the occupants coming into this neighborhood. Whereas all three of these locations here are, well, except for District, what's the lower one closer to the center, District 1?
District 3. Right here, right? Oh, sorry.
Which district's what?
That's 3.
This District 3 is the one that's closest to the town center.
Yeah, so the other ones, I mean, if you look at District 2 on Old City Road, that's a pretty narrow, windy road right now. District 1 is right on Route 13, and so is District 3. So that kind of works well with connecting to Pittsburgh and public transportation. But again, we were trying to find a way that we could already use developed areas of town to increase the housing. So the way the MBTA guideline is, they have a preconceived vision that you can just take one block of land in town and saturate it with 15 units per acre and be done with it. I think that the town should be able to benefit from other things besides just delivering what the MBTA is mandating, and do it in a more comprehensive way so that all the density doesn't have to be in one town, one section of town, does not necessarily require development of virgin land pretty much. And one of the visions we had was to have some mixed use here, so that we could see beneficial opportunities to increase housing where there's already commercial stuff available. So
Okay, Robert, thank you. Thank you for your thoughts, and Andrew as well. Again, that this is the feelings of the majority, or more than the majority, I should say, because I was in attendance, of the department heads. And the aquifer was repeatedly brought up. So we're already in, well, I understand your congested areas, but we're already in those, and to add more would affect the aquifer in those areas. Good discussion for the public hearing coming up. Good discussion for Jonathan to hear. I can tell you from on the side of MRPC and the other towns that are also involved with the same guidelines, if you will, but also are small like us and cannot produce what the state is mandating. Not sure how we get to push back at the state level, because their line of thinking is more with dense areas and obviously public sewer and public water versus our private areas. So hopefully, Jonathan, you can get some information for the public hearing that will address some of the concerns of pushback with the state, whether it comes from the state rep or the state Department of Housing now. But somebody's got to address this with the smaller towns that can't comply. Tony, did you have anything you wanted to add? Andrew and Robert certainly did. Okay.
Definitely agree, District 1 and 2 would be easy to connect to Fitchburg, but
Well, Lunenburg has public in that.
that
And
would be,
well, actually, you're right as far as John Fitch Highway goes. So anyway, they were good thoughts, and again, we may think that that areas that are already developed can take more saturation, but that may not be a doable, realistic way to look at it. So I thank you for your input, all of you. And thank you, Jonathan. Was there anything else that you wanted to add before you left?
Mostly we just wanted to give a progress update on the current compliance model as it stands, and also there is a very preliminary draft bylaw that we've floated around, and we welcome as much feedback as you can give on. It isn't very heavy on specifics yet, because there hasn't been a final selection on the parcel, and obviously any bylaw would have to have its language tailored to that more specifically. But definitely any input or any thoughts or any concerns with the bylaw, or language that you might want to see if what EOHLC's attitude towards it would be, we can definitely run it past them before any official submission to get their kind of preliminary feedback.
Okay, good idea.
And I can also definitely reach out and get some additional input on the feasibility of mixed use and different density allotments. But I don't want to promise any answers because
Right.
I don't necessarily have them.
Okay, but asking the question and getting
Yes,
some
we will
feedback
definitely reach out.
would be good for the public hearing.
Mhm,
know,
absolutely.
So just so that they know that we are addressing those kind of concerns. Okay, so thank you so much, Jonathan.
Can I ask Jonathan a question, Chair Schifrin?
Yes.
Or whereabouts in the timeline would you like to submit the preliminary draft bylaw to the state for their review?
If we were to do that, we would do it much more unofficially at first during one of the more regular consultant meetings where they sit down with us and try to address any concerns or issues that are happening.
Okay.
So it wouldn't necessarily be an official submission of material. It would be asking them to take a look or floating some language past them and getting their input on the spot.
And do you have a date of those meetings? Are they regular or are they?
I do not have them on hand with me right now. I would have to dig into my calendar, but I can get you the next date and let you know. We'll have an answer the next day for you if we can.
Thank you.
Okay, again, thank you, Jonathan.
Absolutely.
Beth, can you put our agenda back on the screen, please?
Sure. So Chair Schifrin, Carol Hofstas is here. If you would like to transfer the chair tonight.
Okay, Carol, are you ready? I'm sorry, I wasn't feeling up to par tonight. But now we are at 2.2, 6:45 p.m., the continuation of the public hearing for 66 Bayberry Hill. And I apologize that we are late. We are now at 7 p.m. And I would like to relinquish the chair to Vice Chair Carol Hofstas. Thank you.
All right. So give me whatever you need me to do. Isn't there a cheat sheet for the public hearing?
There is. Would you like me to put that on the screen? I'm happy to do that.
I guess so.
Okay. I'll put that up for you.
When did you send out the minutes, the agenda for today? Because I kept looking, I never saw them. So I just assumed we were meeting Wednesday instead of tonight.
I think it was last Wednesday I sent it out. But
Really? Because
We are meeting again Wednesday.
I know, but all I saw was everything for the 4th. I didn't see anything for the 2nd because I kept looking. Oh, maybe because my computer was messed up. That might be why I didn't get them.
Yeah, because it was sent out last week. A little bit of confusion with executive sessions that we're having, but sorry.
Yeah, no, I apologize because I had some computer problems, so I may not have gotten them and just assumed I only got the 4th.
all right, so you can go ahead and just go through, open the public hearing, the
Okay.
continued public hearing, just put the date, you can mention the date and the applicant right from the agenda.
Right from the agenda. Oh,
Yeah, so you
can't read.
but I'll need it back because I have my notes. Yeah,
All
are
right,
you have
wait
an
a minute,
agenda?
Wait a minute, I screwed
Yeah.
up here. What did I do? I just have the agenda. Is this it? No. Oh, thank you, Andrew. I can't read far away and I can't without my glasses and I can't read close. So, okay, I want to open the public hearing. Today is October 2nd, 2023 at 7:02 p.m. And it's a continuation of 66 Bayberry Hill Road. Is that it? And I still can't read that.
Introduce the board members.
Okay, and I'm Carol Hofstas, Vice Chair of the Planning Board.
Andrew Shepherd, clerk.
Robert Thery,
Member.
member.
Laura Schifrin.
Tony Lopez, member.
Okay.
Public sign-in sheet is circulating. So
Okay, so everybody sign this. sign-in sheet.
You can get the,
Is this it?
Just.
Okay, thank you.
all right. And then in terms of reading the new materials received, my recommendation is, there's the applicant's representative is here and the applicant is here. So you
Okay.
can ask whoever would like to speak, they could bring the board up to date since the last public hearing.
Okay, I would like to do that. Would you like to do that? Okay,
Let me pull up your presentation.
Great,
thank you.
Let me grab that.
So for the record, I'm Ryan Proctor. I'm with Dillis Monroe Civil Design Group, representing the applicant, Brett King, and the project at 66 Bayberry Hill Road, which was a major stormwater permit application. This project was originally before your board on August 28th, and the board had requested that we proceed through your peer review engineer for the design of the shared driveway and the layout of the lot. We received comments from Graves Engineering out of Worcester on September 7th. Peer review comments for the project, and we'd ask for a continuance from your September 11th meeting to give us time to address those comments. Last week, I submitted a revised site plan, drainage report, and cover letter addressing those comments and summarizing the changes to both the drainage report and the site plan. And then earlier this afternoon, we received a follow-up letter from Graves indicating that the comments had been addressed. Or would like to have to go through those comments, there are 15 of them, or if you have any specific questions about the revisions, I'm happy to address those, whatever works.
Can you direct us to the changes that were there?
I can, absolutely, yeah, I'll just go down the list for you.
Thank you.
Yep, so the first item was the request to add a telephone number of the owner and applicant, so that is right there on the top of sheet 1 above the north arrow. The second was to include a legend for all the symbols used. Again, that's right on the top of that front page there. The third item was to perform soil testing in the location of each of the stormwater basins to make sure we had adequate separation from the bottom of the basins to the estimated seasonal high groundwater. So we performed that a couple weeks ago, and that information was updated on sheet 3 of the site plans and included in the stormwater report as well. The fourth item was to include curb cut, driveway locations, and any structures within 100 feet of the property lines. I've done that. I believe they're majorly shown on the first page of the site plan. I have the abutting property, approximate locations of the driveways and any structures. Item 5 was to include sizes of the land parcels and the number of square feet of land to be disturbed. Again, that was labeled on sheet 1 of the revised site plans. 6 was to include a construction detail for the silt fence. I think that's on, it's either sheet 2 or 3. I ended up adding a detail sheet, but I did add that to the site plan. Item 7 was to include a cross-section detail of the infiltration basin. I was right there on sheet 3. Label of elevations, there are multiple basins along the driveway, so I provided a table for clarity. Item 8, in the stormwater report, under the checklist, we noted that we're going to be doing some dry wells for the proposed houses, so I did add a detail to the site plans, and then there is reference relative to operation and maintenance of the structures in the drainage report. Item 9 was that we needed to add a construction sequence or phasing plan. That is in the notes right on Robert's left hand there on sheet 2.
The construction plan. Yeah, right there,
Yeah, that's
construction
sequence.
sequence.
And then the last handful of comments was specific to the stormwater calculations. Item 11.10 was basically saying that the hydraulic calculations were in order with the exception of the next comments. Item 11 was that we were to model a type 3 storm distribution. Originally, we had a type 2, which is basically the rainfall distribution for the area. So type 3 is specific to Massachusetts, so I've updated that. 12 is relative to TSS, so total suspended solid removal prior to infiltration basins. So we added stone check dams in the grass swales and sediment forebays to each basin to provide pre-treatment of stormwater runoff prior to discharge into those basins. Similar comment for 13 was relative to updating the total suspended solids removal worksheet. So I've updated those in the stormwater report. And item 14 was recommending that we add pre-treatment in the grass channels and the swales. And again, I did add check dams to those, and there is a detail on sheet 3 of the site plans relative to those. That was it, 14 comments. So again, Graves did indicate that we'd address those comments adequately. I think Jeff is on the call if you on Zoom tonight if you'd like to ask him anything, but if there's anything specific, I'm happy to answer that now, or if you have any additional questions.
You have any comments? No? I'm good. Robert, do you have any comments?
No.
Tony, do you have any comments?
My only comment would be, do we have any data for similar systems that have been successful like this in the past, especially in this area?
Yeah.
Is this-
we-
What
Do you
can we use this plan?
want to cite another project, maybe that would help?
I know we did, is it Townsend condominiums? I think we had an infiltration basin down there. In an application like this, these are perfect because it's stormwater sheet flowing off the driveway. It's not a subsurface structure where we're disturbing additional earth subsurface. We're able to work with the existing contours and existing grading out there the best we can. So we really feel like it's the best option for this.
Was there an erosion plan for the silt fences, especially for management, maintenance, everything submitted in?
Yeah, there
It's
is.
shown on the plan and detailed as well.
Yeah, there is.
That's part of the stormwater report. Were you able to see the report at all, Mr. Lopez?
I have, yes, I just did see all the reviews since they've been edited.
So if you look in the report, there's a construction period, pollution prevention and erosion and sediment control section, as well as a long-term pollution prevention plan. That's all erosion control compliance. There's actually probably in the stormwater operation and maintenance manual, some of the
That's right.
erosion control.
Yeah, those details are specific to the stormwater system, but sheet 2 on the left side of the page does have a lot.
That's right,
relative to
sheet
erosion
2,
control.
yeah. I actually put sheet 2 in the decision as well, referenced in the decision. So, yeah, so on the plans, there's also, can you see that online? Okay, yeah, so I'm putting it up on the screen, Mr. Lopez, section D, erosion control specifications. I will zoom in on that for you. There you go. So our peer review engineer from Graves Engineering is also here, so when you're ready to have him speak on the application, he's available to do that.
Is he gonna, do we usually have them speak?
Pardon?
Do we usually have them speak on the application? Do we ask everybody
If you have any more questions, oh yeah, you can ask the public if they have questions or comments.
before he speaks or after he speaks?
Maybe? Yeah,
Before?
well, actually, ask them if they have any questions of the presenter.
Is Mike on? Is Mike on here? Do I need?
No.
No, I don't have to go ask Mike.
Thank you.
Are you satisfied, Tony?
Yeah, I'm just looking through the final details and how, say we were experiencing drought in our area, how would they provide water to, deal with germination on all the spraying that needs to happen? There's a lot of hydroseed, and immediate hydroseed.
Oh, I think you might want to explain to him, he may be looking at the wetland replication area, which is not the stormwater management. That's under the purview of the planning board.
So we did receive notifications from the conservation relative to the wetland replication area and the wetland crossing itself. But again, in the, on sheet 2, there is some details on, reusing existing soil, the wetland, hydrologic soil in the area, retaining that on site and reusing that for that replication area. So there are some pretty detailed notes on that. And again, that was discussed with the conservation when we went through the permitting process with them.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Does anybody else have any more comments? So, anyone here in the audience have any questions?
Looks pretty comprehensive to me.
Okay. And who's the gentleman from Grace?
Jeffrey Walsh, he's a
Okay.
Towns Consulting Engineer.
Mr. Walsh, do you have some comments?
Certainly. Good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the board and the audience. Yes, I'm Jeff Walsh with Graves Engineering. We did review, as discussed a few moments ago. Quite frankly, I'm very satisfied with the revisions. The original submittal was well engineered, but again, to me, the big things that needed to be addressed was soil testing. Even though they had what I felt was a conservative design for glacial till, in that they weren't digging too deep into the existing ground in order to establish the infiltration basins because of the need for vertical groundwater offset. They needed to demonstrate it by way of the soil testing, and which they performed. And glad to report that I'm satisfied with the designs. They did not have to revise the designs based upon their findings. The other big thing was just to make sure we got total suspended solids or water quality total suspended removal or water quality, another way to look at it, addressed in accordance with the Mass DEP Stormwater Handbook and how they call it out. I didn't want to be nitpicky, but nevertheless, they're very clear that infiltration BMPs need pre-treatment, and they get an 80% credit, including the pre-treatment. And one of our comments had to do with how that was calculated. There was essentially a double dipping of a removal credit for pre-treatment BMP when it's really supposed to be covered by the 80%. But nevertheless, by the addition of stone check dams and the grass swale on the plans, and stone check dam to create a forebay at the inlet of the infiltration basins. They've addressed those requirements on the plan. They've modified their calculations of total suspense, the solids removal, to address it on a record keeping side. And quite frankly, my experience with these types of things is you're going to buy some stone and spend money on machine time and labor to place them, but they are very effective. And for projects such as this, they capture sediment at numerous places, and they're easy to maintain. So it'll prolong the infiltration capacity of the open infiltration basins. Our other comments, most of which at the beginning were requirements of the regulation, the local regulation in Townsend. Even though it seems trivial, telephone number on the plan or anything else, those regulations are there for a reason. And I've always looked at something as simple as a telephone number as, okay, if people from the town who need to monitor construction out on the construction site, the developer or contractor is not there and they need to get in touch with somebody, that's probably why the telephone number needs to be on the plan. But nevertheless, that's why I get into the detail. But I'd like to wrap it up there, but I'm very satisfied with the revisions, and I have no concerns whatsoever with what's been put before the board by this applicant and engineer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what do we do next?
Down to the sheet. All right, so you've reviewed all the new materials, we've taken all your questions. I I'd just like to bring up one point. I was wondering if you could just speak to the easement plan. I don't think the board is familiar with it, so what you guys have proposed.
Yeah, so that was Stan's department, so I'll try to speak to it, but it's a shared driveway, so there's gonna be grading for the benefit of one lot when they're crossing through the next, so there was an easement, for grading, drainage, and access and utility, for the lot in the back to access a portion of the lot in the front, essentially, so that plan has been prepared, for that intent.
And that's part of the bylaw. Applicants for stormwater management facilities such as this can either ask for a waiver from that or create an easement with the town for access to manage the utilities in the event that there's catastrophic failure or something.
Something like that.
So they have provided language for the easement and an easement plan. And as part, this will be the first time the town will actually be agreeing to an easement of this sort, a stormwater management easement.
Now, who approves that easement plan?
That will all go through the Board of Selectmen, so the town will, you know,
Oh, okay.
they will be drawing up the agreement. They've already got the plan,
Okay,
but that's up to the applicant to work through that agreement with the town and complete that agreement.
okay.
So my recommendation is, as part of the approval, that would be a condition of this stormwater management permit.
Easement.
That
Approved.
easement plan and agreement is completed and recorded prior to construction. They have the wording and they're pretty much there. It's just the legal part that I don't know. I don't know anything about. Yeah. So I did put that in my draft decision, and the draft decision has not been reviewed by town council. So
Okay.
if you would like to go through that draft decision with the applicant here, you certainly can do that. I can
Do we have that?
Yep. I can put it on the screen if you like.
Okay, we can do that.
Share a copy with the applicant.
Oh, not yet.
Not
I
yet.
have an extra one. Thank you. That's a
Okay.
great idea. Okay.
Do I read this? Do I read it?
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay. Have to start at the beginning or just start at the statement of facts?
Just say the statement of facts, probably, unless you want to just go through the top part real quickly, like,
Okay.
yeah, just go with the application and then,
Okay, this is what decision for the major stormwater management permit for 66 Bayberry Hill Road, Townsend, Mass. Residential District RA3 and assessors map block number 9-32-0. It's granted for a period of 2 years. Permit number SM2023-03. The date of decision is October to be determined 2023. And statement of facts. The application was submitted to the town clerk on August 2nd, 2023. The legal-
I'm lost.
The legal notice, the public hearing publication dates, August 18th and August 25, 2023, in the Groton Herald. Public hearing, the planning board opened a hybrid public hearing on August 28th, 2023, and continued to September 11th, 2023, which was canceled due to technical difficulties, and to October 2nd, 2023, where it was subsequently closed.
Presenters. presumptuous, it's all subject to change.
Board members present for the public hearings were Laura Schifrin, Carol Hofstas, Robert Therian, and Andrew Shepherd. Stanley,
Add 20 in there.
okay. Stanley Dillis and Roy attended the public hearing on 8/12/23, and Ryan Proctor, Dillis and Roy, CDG Incorporated, attended the 10/2/23 hearing. And also Jeffrey Walsh, Graves Engineering Consultant for the Townsend Planning Board, attended the public hearing on 10/2/23. Abutters notified, a certified abutters list was obtained, and abutters were notified by first-class mail within statutory timelines on August 10th, 2023.
You can skip down, I think, at this point. If you go through all the exhibits, it'll take forever.
Oh, okay, so I could skip down to
Bylaw background,
bylaw background.
or, sorry, statement of case.
Statement of case, okay. Statement of case, the proposed project involves the construction of a shared driveway for providing access to 2 single-family residential dwellings at 66 Bayberry Hill Road. Assessors map 9, block 32, lot 0, zone RB. The applicant estimates 120,000 square feet of land disturbance with 1,800 cubic yards of fill and disturbance as steep slopes for the project. The land disturbance proposed is above the threshold requiring a major stormwater management permit. Findings. The board found that the application and documents submitted meet the criteria and requirements of the Townsend zoning bylaw, Part 2, General Bylaws, Chapter 85, NPDES, Phase 2, Stormwater Management, and Planning Board, Chapter 175, Article 5, Stormwater Regulations. The complete stormwater management application documents and plans were reviewed by Jeffrey Walsh, P.E., Graves Engineering, peer review consultant. These findings, documented in a letter to the planning board, see Exhibit E, identified through the review, were adequately addressed by the applicant in Exhibit F. Mr. Walsh conducted a second review of the revised documents and issued a letter of satisfaction to the Stormwater Authority, found in Exhibit G. Mr. Walsh attended the public hearing and stated there were no outstanding issues with the revised stormwater management permit application documents with respect to the technical review. Planning Board Rules and Regulations, Article 2, Chapter 175-10, 175-25, 175-26. And
So then the
175
conclusion.
That's 27, oh, conclusion.
Yeah.
Based on the information presented, the Stormwater Authority Planning Board finds that the applicant did satisfy the status for issuance of a major stormwater management permit under the Townsend zoning bylaws, Planning Board rules and regulations as outlined above. This stormwater management permit is issued to WK Realty Trust, Brett King trustee, in October to be determined 2023. In October to be determined 2023, board member motion to issue a major stormwater management permit to WK Realty Trust, Brett King trustee, for 66 Bayberry Hill Road for a period of 2 years with the condition that the applicant shall provide a fully executed and recorded easement agreement and plan with the town of Townsend for the stormwater management facilities prior to construction.
And then so that's the motion. And
So this is the motion that's here.
yeah, so you might want to ask the engineer or applicant, if they're agreeable to that, and you think that's
Is there any
reasonable.
abutters that want to speak?
Yeah.
Does anyone
Any abutters want to speak?
No, are you agreeable to?
Just that last item, was there a condition relative to the easement plan? I know the applicant's anxious to get rolling with construction, so does the easement being a condition of approval, is that something that we could, if he's going through that process now, that's not necessarily relative to the construction, if he's were to work on a lot up front, at least get the driveway roughed in and begin that way? Where that wouldn't necessarily be impacted by the creation of that easement. So I'm wondering if that's an option.
It's not necessarily a condition of approval, it's a condition of the beginning of work.
Right.
Yeah, construction, beginning of construction, yeah. So that would mean like once that agreement is recorded, then construction can begin.
What's the time process, the timeline on that?
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beth, why is that? Because it's all commonly owned, and we're here for approval on stormwater, not an easement.
No, but, the
I don't
permit,
see how that can be,
you're not comfortable with that?
I'm not comfortable, I'm not,
Okay,
no,
all
I'm
right.
not.
That was town council's recommendation, so it's up to the board.
It's commonly
I
owned,
don't know how,
you know, I get it, we can't sell a lot until the easement is in place, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
yeah, okay. So if the board is fine with that, then.
So what would you want to change?
Pardon me?
Do we have any comments on that?
No, but we probably should move.
Okay, so what would, we would change this to, if we were comfortable with that he could still go ahead with the construction.
You would take that particular part right out, I guess. You would just,
Make a motion.
well, yeah, so why don't you guys figure out how you wanna handle it, and you all have 2 board members online too.
But just for the record, I'm very fortunate to have Brett as my fire captain on the fire department, but
Okay.
because, oh, geez, insubordination, as my deputy.
Is that your conflict?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be abstaining
Okay.
and
Yeah.
to just, I'm not trying to not participate.
Yeah, I know, no, I get that. I get that.
Make a motion.
Yeah, you wanna make a motion?
Well, no, you wanna
Oh,
discuss that point, if you don't, why don't you discuss amongst yourselves?
I'm
You
sorry, I'm
deliberate.
hard of hearing.
Oh, so am I.
So
You
we-
wanna deliberate on the point of making the recording of the easement, which is an agreement with the town and the applicant, the permittee, to be complete before construction begins,
so,
or not.
or not.
And you were opposed to that?
Yes.
I'm opposed to having it in there, I see no need to have it in there.
'Cause, and what was the
Can I
reasoning,
understand why?
what was the
It's just
reasoning
gonna
for putting it
delay
in there?
construction more.
To make sure it basically gets done. So you don't want the project to be finished and the easement not to be recorded.
We
So
can
there's a
still
way-
make a contingent.
That's what town
yes.
council said, so, I don't know.
Okay,
You can make a contingent upon occupancy permit,
Yeah.
that's fine, I
Yeah.
have no problem with that.
Can we do that in a stormwater permit?
Well,
We can do
you
that in
need a
site
final
Well,
plan.
this isn't
approval.
even part, that's my whole question, this isn't even part of the stormwater permit, we're talking about an easement.
It's part of the regulations, yes.
For a
It's,
stormwater permit?
it's compliant, yeah, it's in the stormwater regulations, that's why. But this isn't a site plan review, so we can't really condition anything on a occupancy permit, but the board can, put a condition in there that it gets done. I guess that's the thing, they really want to make sure it's finished,
We have no problem doing it.
No.
yeah, but I've also, yeah, okay.
So what would the specific language of the easement requirement be?
Just as it is here, this was from town council.
The town council,
He didn't write it, but he recommended it.
have we done this before?
No, that's the thing, this is the first easement that has
So,
ever been
and
done.
explain me this easement thing.
Well, it's in the regulations, I'll have to pull up the regs. I will see how quickly I can do that.
Is this for every shared driveway?
It's for
Can you
every
come and
major
address the board
stormwater
here?
management
Plant
permit
permit.
that
I'd like
has
to talk to you
multiple
up here.
stormwater facilities. Mhm.
Okay,
This
Yeah,
easement
Yeah.
is about the shared roadway, is that correct?
oh,
I would
is,
guess.
is it on that map?
Yeah, it's.
Right.
what map?
And
The
so,
one, the one that you had
We're
up
granting
first,
the
the one
town
with the
an
green,
right?
would show the
So
two
that's
houses
what-
in the
And the
driveway?
I'll show you the
easement
easement
is
plan, would
to-
that help you?
Yeah,
to right,
It's in the regulations
So
that they
Ryan can tell you
they
why we're
ask for a
granting an
waiver
easement.
or
We're
they
granting
can
an
ask
easement
for an
to the
easement.
town.
So,
Right, so
Okay.
it's, if,
yeah,
I believe if there's issues with my understanding is if there's issues with the stormwater system, then
Yeah.
the town has the ability to come and perform maintenance on those if it's impacting outside
Yeah.
properties or the town property.
yeah, if it were to impact a public way, then highway could go in and rectify the situation. It would be, it's not something that's been done in the past,
all right,
but it's in the
let's
regulations.
understand the entire situation here. This is not a town road, this is a private driveway,
Correct.
No, it's connected to a town road, Bayberry Hill Road.
connected to a town road.
Yes.
And so the maintenance and everything regarding the road will be contained by the private ownership of the road.
Correct.
The driveway,
So,
the driveway, you mean?
what we're proposing here to approve,
It's a driveway.
Driveway.
right, it's a private driveway
Correct.
that's shared by multiple property
That will
owners.
be maintained by their owners.
They will maintain and do whatever they need to that road.
Yeah.
So the impact on the town, as far as an easement goes, would be for what reason?
In the event that the facilities, the stormwater management facilities that are being built and operated and maintained on these lots, in the event that there was a failure to maintain them per the operation and maintenance plan, then the town in that event might be able to
I
access to
understand.
repair them. And the only reason I believe it's in the regulations is if it impacted Bayberry Hill Road in some way, some catastrophic way. So it's very, I mean, and I know that I mentioned to your engineer originally that you can ask for a waiver from that
I have
regulation.
no problem doing it.
Oh,
My
okay.
problem is holding up construction.
Okay.
Here we are, October.
Yeah, I
So if the
understand.
board is
Okay.
comfortable with that, then just simply
Okay.
take it
So-
out.
And we are in the process of doing that.
Yeah, sounds like, yeah, Stan submitted.
All right, so
it.
why don't we put a requirement that that be achieved in the next 90 days or something? Is that work?
Or,
So
do you wanna?
I don't mind that, but I just don't know how long it will take. Like, this
Yeah.
is new to the town. This is the first time it's ever
Right.
been done.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
So how else could we help you with?
I would say before occupancy, right?
Okay,
Right? Because
Prior
Well,
to-
be fine before, as a condition of final acceptance at completion. How does that sound?
it's fine with me.
what would you say?
Say that
As
again.
a condition,
Uh-huh,
the easement has to be addressed
yeah,
as a condition of final acceptance of the
oh, of
drive.
the certificate of completion.
Right,
That's a really good idea.
okay.
All right.
All right, that's a good
I
idea.
like that a
I
lot
like
better.
that. Yeah.
That's perfect, much better. All right,
Okay.
so condition of the certificate of completion, so we don't really, yeah, all right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
All right, so
So say that, so
we
make that
should make
motion.
the motion.
Right, so you can act on it, and then if you want to, I will have that edited and then reviewed by town council for the final. So you
Right.
can go ahead and vote your approval.
Mhm.
I will edit it, I will let the permittees review it, town council review it, and then sign it, and they're good to go.
Oh, I should
There's
have-
no appeal period or anything, it's just go, so,
All right, I'm gonna make a motion.
Okay. All right,
Make a motion
can I second it?
to issue a major stormwater management permit to WK
Yes, second.
Realty Trust, Brett King trustee of 66 Bayberry Hill Road for a period of 2 years, with the condition the applicant shall provide a fully executed and recorded easement agreement prior to the final certificate of completion,
yes,
and with the plan has been submitted for the stormwater management provided the state.
Second that motion.
And, okay, thank you, Tony. Do you have all that, Beth?
not yet, prior to, certificate of completion is issued. And then what else did he say? Everything else was the same, except I'm taking out
That's right.
construction
We
and I'm
just,
putting in,
right.
Yeah.
and putting in,
Yeah,
certificate of completion
Yeah.
is issued.
yes.
And we had Robert Varian for the motion,
And Tony seconded.
and Tony for the second.
And now we have to take a roll call vote. And you have Andrews abstaining.
Andrew abstained, thank you.
Okay, Robert, how do you vote?
Robert Theron, yes.
Tony, how do you vote?
Tony Lopez, yes.
And Carol Hoff says yes. Oh, Laurie, are you there too?
Yes, I'm here.
And how do you vote?
Yes.
And Carol Hoff says vote yes.
Excellent.
Motion carries.
Okay, yay.
Job.
All
All
right,
right, and I will have that put together.
okay.
And I'm gonna actually, yeah, I could probably have you guys sign that. If I go print out a copy, if you
Okay.
don't mind, if you wanna continue with the meeting.
Okay, now what do I do with the rest of this meeting?
You have an agenda?
Oh, I do.
Oh, you don't need to close that.
Do I need to close the public hearing?
No, actually, your vote closes it.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so
okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Were you able to sign the sign-in sheet? Yes. Oh, thank you.
And I'll print out a copy and have you guys sign it. But I don't think town council's gonna have any changes.
Okay, so we're really late for the next one.
There was only 2 public hearings, so at this point,
I think that's the minutes.
Oh, thank you.
if
You've
you
got too
want,
many pieces of paper.
yeah, if you want, we can go right through to the administrative report, and then you could talk about 22 Main Street, because you have someone here for 22 Main Street. Naomi's here.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thank
for
you. Bye,
assistance.
Ryan.
Beth, how long do you think, for a permit?
I should be able to get that wrapped up, hopefully by the end of the week.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm gonna get the signatures. I will.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Perfect.
Okay, where on the agenda does it say 22
I
Main
can probably
Street?
go print out a copy.
So that was the big thing tonight, right?
I think it's 3.1, administrative updates and reports,
Yeah,
and then in the report.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, there we go.
I'm gonna go through that quickly, and just, current applications, 66 Bayberry Hill Road, which you just finished. There were 6 interdepartmental approvals, various smaller projects. 18 West Meadow Estates, a deck replacement, 73 Meadow Road was a, garage addition and replacing and removing a deck. 7 Pheasant Ridge Road, adding a mudroom and a garage. 9 Fox Run Road, a deck replacement. 16 Clement Road, a second floor addition. 8 West Elm Street, a new deck off the house. So the land use staff for site visits and compliance, we have been working with the applicant or the permit holder at 22 Main Street. And she has a representative here tonight to talk about the updated construction schedule. And at the meeting that was canceled, they were here and provided an updated construction schedule. So I printed out for you the construction timeline that was in the special permit, as well as the one that's been provided to you. I recommend that you just discuss that and talk to the applicant's representative about that. And I also had, for my own update, we did receive an update from the engineer. And he says that it looks like Mass DOT is on board with the revision to the entrance.
okay.
Did you hear that? I don't want to get overly excited yet, he says. But we could do, he's thinking that it could be potentially a field change or modification. And that it's unlikely that we'll have to reopen a public hearing for those changes, which would be great. And he's gonna keep the board posted on that.
Okay, so we're gonna use the existing entrance.
So we don't have a confirmation official.
No, it's coming. They've been back and forth corresponding with Mass DOT, and they have given them a revision. Mass DOT is responding to that. So hopefully there's no major shifting is what I'm gathering from the engineer. And it looks like whatever is gonna happen is minor. So anyway, there is the construction schedule that was given to you, and then the updated one from the contractor. The deadline in the special permit was October what?
I think it's the 15th.
The 15th. And is that still a viable deadline? Because it actually.
I think, Mr. Shepherd said he needed till the end of the month. We've been,
Okay.
not.
Different.
Different Mr. Shepherd, sorry.
That's okay, I know there's a lot of Mr. Shepherds, I do know that.
We needed till at least the end of the month, I think was what he requested, because of the weather that we had, the rain and everything, just, they haven't been able to work anything with all the bad weather. He's hopeful to get it done by the end of the month. I tried to talk to him tonight, but he was breaking up all over the place. We had discussed, a couple weeks ago, trying to start it this week.
Okay.
But he didn't have a firm date for me yet.
Okay.
So we did discuss that, and then I was just speaking to Ryan on the DOT permit. And the only thing that was missing for approval was we needed, something notarized.
Oh.
So they sent me the form. I just asked Ryan, he sent it in a couple weeks ago, and he's expecting to hear back soon. There were no requests for changes or updates made by them. It was just that one of the documents they submitted needed to be notarized. So they sent it back to us and we got that done.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
And if it helps, we picked a paint color other than that pink. I know. It wasn't supposed to be pink. It was supposed to be this really blush, quiet, like peachy color, but it didn't come out that way at all.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Well,
Madam
that's
Chair,
out.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can you identify the speaker, please, for the record?
Oh, I'm Naomi from Master Veterinary Hospital.
Naomi from. Oh, could you say your last name?
Durso, sorry.
So that's, thank you, Lori.
And the gentleman that was just here, is he with you guys?
He's supposed to be returning.
Yeah.
And
He is, I didn't know. I've never met him in person
Okay.
until you guys said his name when he was up there, so I just leaned over while you were talking to ask.
So do we need to adjust the date?
he went to take care of his dogs in the truck.
Oh, that gentleman, he's here for moral support.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So have you started any construction on the parking lots or in the back there?
so Mr. Shepherd has done some cleaning up of the area, but to be honest, I wouldn't know if he's done that.
Chair, are we able to help them out extending this permit up till end of November?
Till the end of November?
Yeah, I mean, it's more reasonable, another 6 weeks of construction, you know, we get some fair weather coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 6 weeks of trying to get the job done.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm sure you couldn't get a lot of work done because of the rain.
Well, my own projects have been delayed, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a reasonable request.
Yeah, I agree.
So you just make a motion and.
Yeah.
We appreciate that very much. We've been trying to catch up and keep up with it, but, the weather's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mother Nature has been working
Materials,
well.
right.
so and not to, be a broken record, but I think I'll have to abstain from this one again because my employer is the Mr. Shepherd that will be conducting the work.
Then we better see you out there.
Oh, boy.
On some stuff.
Oh, boy, it's there before the 15th.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I'll make a motion to amend the date to the end of November 2023.
And who
I so
second?
second, Robert Therian.
we'll second it. And can I
Tony
take,
Lopez is a yes.
okay, I'll take a roll call vote. Tony, you said yes.
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Andrew's abstaining, and Carol Hoff says yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Excellent. So I will draft a letter to have in the record with this vote. And
Okay.
I'll get you a copy of that. Okay,
Okay,
fantastic.
Well, you've been very helpful because it was nice of you to spend some time with me and explain everything I didn't know about what was going on. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Great to see it coming together. And I'm really happy about Mass DOT.
yay. That's great.
Yeah, all good.
Thanks. Do we have to end anything? No.
No,
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that she didn't have to sit here through the whole night.
That's fine.
So, thank you. And I'll make sure I get you that letter out to you.
Awesome,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, excellent, thank you guys, you have a good night.
You too, thank you.
Okay, so next on the site visit and compliance on the administrator's report is 27 Scales Lane Stormwater Management Permit. It's an older permit from 2019. The pending certificate of completion, we're still awaiting a response from the owner regarding the reasons that they installed the system differently than the approved plan. And there is remediation for some erosion control measures that we're waiting on. Land use has been trying to keep up with, just checking in once in a while to get some updates, but it's been outstanding for a bit now, so.
So
Is
he
it,
didn't conform to the requirements?
No, the design, the as-built
Yes.
did not match the approved plans. And it was sort of a different design, and he didn't realize that they needed to come back to the planning board if they were gonna modify the approved plan. So what we've asked for is just a as-built and sort of just a few explanation as to why the system was built differently. And when we had the site visit, well, that was quite some time ago now, I think it was in August, there was some sedimentation around the basin that the permittee was asked to.
Was it a
To correct.
significant change?
Yeah, I guess what we can do is I can show you the report. I did put the report in your folders previously,
Okay.
and I can do that again. And you can review it outside of session.
Okay.
But mostly we're waiting on that. We'll see what happens.
So what happens with that? So the
The permitting
existing, the as-built conditions are different than the design requirement. So how do we determine if that's still acceptable?
That's on, if they want to get the certificate of completion, we would like them to come to the board to explain why it's different and how it functions currently.
Well, wouldn't we need some consultant?
We don't, the applicant, the permit holder does.
Support?
Yeah.
That it is, I would say, equal or greater than what was designed?
Greater than. Modification, yes. And again, it's really at this point, we have issued an not an enforcement letter, but a site visit summary of requests, if you will. And we're handling it at that level now, at staff level, and we're waiting.
So there's nothing we can do right at this point.
There's no, well, not really an enforcement situation because the certificate expired it was only good for 2 years.
So that's an issue in itself.
And it's a request for them to get the certificate of completion. It's the right thing to do. But I don't know that enforcement, I mean, is in order, you know, I don't know. I think to be fair, it would be nice, you know, if they would respond to our letter, but again, I have to defer to my supervisor on that. Okay. All right, so Harbor Trace is looking great. Their stormwater management permit that you all, I think we're almost all involved in, is in compliance and up to date with monthly inspection reports. Campbell Farm, definitive subdivision, their stormwater permit. There is remediation work that was completed out there. They had a culvert that collapsed and they repaired it. There are a few outstanding erosion swales that need to be addressed. There need to be some sedimentation removed from some swales. The storms this summer, as you know, have been rough.
Right.
So we've been trying to keep an eye on them. We're working with them.
Right.
They're very responsive and it's
They're
coming together
overloaded, the
great.
systems.
Yeah, yeah, if you want to take a ride out there just to see how these systems work,
Wow.
it's a great illustration
Oh,
of
really?
how it's supposed to work and what can happen when your grading is wrong. And yeah,
And
you
this
get,
is at Campbell Farm, right?
yeah, and it's all visible from the road, so take a ride up there to get an idea of how it works, you know, in the field, instead of, you know, when you're looking at plans, you know, it's so hard to visualize. And Three Wheeler Road, I think you're up to date, but you may owe 1 month. No, did you give me that month? I think
I probably owe you.
you probably gave it to me. No, I don't know. Sorry. But yeah, and I think you did give me September or something, but yeah, so that's good. Everything is, you know, compliance. We're probably gonna come out for a site inspection soon. Haven't been out there yet. Miscellaneous, I think I mentioned to you all and sent emails about the planning board open meeting law webinar trainings. Highly recommend those. Planning board application service fee schedule, that's ongoing. We're still working at that at the staff level. And starting the process of extracting those fees from the bylaw. And that will mean an amendment, a bylaw amendment. Will go through fall town meeting. I'll start working on that. I'll start working on the actual editing of the bylaw to extract the fees and getting the public hearing set up. It should be a very simple process. I don't see any complications in that at all.
Okay.
Again, so if I have a fall town meeting date, I can start working that, but I'll start doing that then. And then the bus service, I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know how that's going. And then Jonathan gave the MBTA update, and the update for the public outreach, and the historic district zoning map is now uploaded to the website. That's what I have.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Is this an opportunity for new business?
For which one?
Well, I had occasion to speak with Janice in the building department today.
Oh, good.
And
Who in the building department?
Janet,
Janet.
and she's, there's some things in the zoning bylaw that are really driving her batty right now.
But we can't do anything about the zoning bylaw.
No, but we have to make some recommendations here, because we're going to be introducing bylaw changes.
Mhm.
So, and while we're doing that, if we can take care of some of these other bylaw issues, it would help her immensely.
Well, isn't that because you're on the bylaw committee, right?
That's just starting though, so I'll try to take care of it
So-
on that end.
So wouldn't that be where that would be taken care of?
Okay, so, okay, if that's how you want me to handle it.
Well, because we can't make, the planning board can't change anything for the zoning bylaws, right?
No, but along with what you're saying, there, the first meeting of the zoning bylaw review committee is coming up on October 10th, I believe.
Yeah, it's
and-
coming soon.
So, yeah, the committee has been formed.
Okay.
There's a first meeting set up.
So
And that's where
some
you-
of the things that we're talking about have to go to that committee as
Yeah.
well.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would make sense to
Okay.
me, is that
I
committees.
I just want to be sure we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah, because I was understood that that committee is gonna look at the bylaws or dish it out to whoever needs
Mhm.
to do
No,
that.
I agree, that's the way it should be, but I just want to be sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're good.
And as far as the extracting the fees, that's just the planning board
Look,
fees.
Yeah, but
And
it's
then-
only, yeah, not the zoning board fees.
And then making that table and
Yeah.
that, trying to get that passed as well
Yeah,
at town meeting. So that's that.
yeah, that's good. So that's everything?
Yeah.
Um, So we good?
You did good.
So let me double check.
So is that the community electric aggregate public comment period?
Yeah, you could.
That's
just-
October 10th, okay.
Mhm. Oh, that's a conference I just thought I'd mention, the
Okay.
statewide municipal partnerships conference.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
if you want to go have your voices heard about all our fun that we're having with MBTA communities, you can go to that.
no,
When is that?
Robert's gonna stand up again.
Yeah.
October 10th, 9 to
October
1.
10th?
nine
Go,
to,
go,
nine to,
go.
9 to 1, you
I
could.
don't know, but I got that other meeting.
That's right, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But that is, yeah, that'll be all the big state folks.
Well, do you understand,
Ooh, great.
I mean, there's got to be, the state has to give some latitude here with some of this stuff. I just, I just,
Yes, yes, or
I
else
don't, how do you think we can get that accomplished?
we just revolt.
Revoke the whole thing?
Revolt.
Yeah, well, other towns are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And when I even touched on the subject with our town manager, I mean, the selectmen committee, they don't want any part of it, so.
Yeah, well, don't get me,
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily is the path for us forward, but certainly when we get to the presenting this to the public, we can
Right.
raise our.
Yeah.
But
Is that where we present this?
I think so, and then I know earlier we talked about having, the local newspaper present, or just to kind of.
Right, and that's one of the things I'm getting concerned about, because the public, I was hoping we'd have some pre-meetings in advance of the town meeting, so there would be a bigger public awareness and more questions and answers already prepared before the meeting. Is there anything we can do about that?
About which meeting, I'm sorry?
The town meeting,
Oh, the public information session?
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they do it for the electric stuff, so,
Oh, sure, absolutely.
right,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's the talk,
Yes.
clock is ticking, and nobody's done it. I mean, the
Right,
public at large doesn't even know what this is all about.
yeah.
that's the other thing, it doesn't make sense for a town that's on, such a rural town. I mean, really, we're not anywhere, even though the MBTA station's like a half hour away, it's not like, even though they say we're a town, an MBTA touch
Well,
town.
they certainly took a big stretch here.
it-
And the other thing is, it's not, I mean,
It'll,
this guideline, the mandatory,
oh,
in
yeah.
other words, the minute you say it, every acre has to be committed for 15
But
units.
you
And
don't,
that doesn't make sense. We should have control
how
of
many,
how we disperse it in our town and,
and can our water supply handle
Right.
it, because we're half well water.
Right.
We're not completely,
And not only that, but that kind of density is urban density. And we have the latitude in this town to reduce the density.
oh, we gotta sign something. Didn't you
Do I
want
have to
us,
sign these
did you want us to
Good
sign
point.
something?
as the
Yeah,
clerk?
you sign them as
Who
clerk.
abstained, do I still sign them?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay,
That we received, and that's perfect. And then we also received this. I just wanted to say, we'll see you all Wednesday night, for
Yes.
executive session.
Yes,
And
we'll
if
be-
you want to, take a ride by 37 Burgess Road,
I've been
turn
there.
around.
I've done it.
Do you have? Okay.
oh, okay.
But there is no formal sidewalk, so it's
Should we
just a drive.
motion to adjourn?
Oh, motion to
Yes.
adjourn.
How about that?
Don't make a
I'll make
motion.
a motion, we adjourn to.
Seconded.
Second it, okay. Tony,
I agree. Yes.
Laurie? How do you vote?
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
and Carol Hoff says yes.